Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we have landed on Ike, and we are just going to grab what science we can here and set up our various stations. So this will be absolutely fine. Atmospheric pressure scan, we will need to open the service bay, grab ourselves a materials study. Actually, we don't need to because we can't magnetometer report from the surface here, but that's fine. We'll have Hadguard EVA, we'll grab an EVA report and a surface sample, and we will hop back in for the moment. We'll collect everything up here. We'll have Hadguard hop back out and climb down. He's going to grab a second surface sample, restore the Science Junior, and restore the Mystery Goo containment unit. And then we're going to conduct those studies again. There we go. And we will collect that data and restore them, and collect the data and restore. And then we'll conduct the material study again, and these will stay here. So we'll keep those, and we'll close those doors. Cool. So that's all of the science that we can carry back, and now, of course, we need to do our deployable science. So we'll hop in, drop off that science, and then have Hadguard EVA again. Actually, we'll start with Bill. We'll have Bill EVA here. Bill, close the solar panels. Hadguard is a hazard to solar panels, so we're going to get those removed. We're going to put the parachute here, and we're going to have Bill grab the power generator. There we go. And down we go. Bill, go ahead and extend that ladder. Cool. And let's have you decide where we're going to set this up. So we'll let go there, and the gravity here is roughly comparable to that of Moon. So that'll be fine. We're just going to go right around here, I think. This is fine. And we'll drop that. We're going to have to set up 3 separate parts with Bill. So we'll head back over here. Grab the ladder, and up we go. In retrospect, I should have swapped the location of these 2 bays. It's a little late now, but that probably would have been for the best. We're going to grab another solar panel. And all we got to do is get this base set up. Of course, we don't have to do that. I'm pretty sure we have our science maxed out already if we return with what we've got. But I want to have this maxed out anyway. Okay. We'll drop that off there. And one more part for Bill to set up. We don't need to be notified every time Bill bounces. Thanks, X-Science, but that's not necessary right now. So we're going to climb up over here and grab that RTG. There we go. And then everything else can be set up by Hadguard. That'll be fine. So we'll let go of that, and over we head. I always feel like the communication system should have to be set up by an engineer, but I believe it doesn't. I feel like I check that all the time, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to be set up by an engineer. We'll double check that before we put Bill back in the module. But let's head up over here. And let's see what we've got here. So for the communication station, yeah, that doesn't have to be set up by anyone in particular. We definitely want to be set up by scientists, or we want our science experiments to be set up by scientists. So everything else can be done by Hadguard, but let's hop up in here quick, and we'll board. And we're going to have Jeb hop on out. And Jeb will climb down. Actually, Jeb is just going to let go. He's got his EVA pack. He's just happy. He's having a good time. So he's going to hop over here. And he's going to plant a flag. There we go. Bill's flags are the worst. I don't know why he capitalized flags and not anything else in the sentence, but okay. For a title like that, the important words should be capitalized, Jeb. I don't know what's going on with you. He's not a fan of Bill's flags, though, that's for sure. So we're going to hop on up here. Man, do those EVA packs make that easy. And we're going to hop out with Hadguard, who should have an empty inventory, but in fact does not. That's okay. we can store his stuff here. Hadgard. There we go. And we're going to grab the... Is that the experiment control station? Yeah, that's the science control unit. So that's fine. Hadgard hops on down. And let's drop this off here. We've got a number of additional pieces of equipment to drop off, of course. Many of them are pointless and won't actually get us anything. But, I mean, Hadgard still feels it's very important to do his duty as a scientist and investigate the unknown. He technically doesn't know that these things aren't going to work on Ike. I can tell him that these things aren't going to work on Ike. Like, for example, this weather analyzer. It requires an atmosphere. So, it's not going to work. But Hadgard doesn't know that. He's like, I don't know, maybe, like, the solar wind will count. No, Hadgard, that's not how this works. But he is doggedly determined. And there we go. We'll get that set up. And we just need a couple more. Yeah, I definitely should have swapped the position of these two bays. That is definitely a thing that we should have done. In retrospect, we'll grab the seismometer. Not like we're expecting any impacts here either. And over we go. Just want to get the full station set up here. All the deployable science. That's kind of an awkward spot for it, but that's where Hadgard wants it. So, okay, I guess that's the place that is most likely to experience Ike quakes, according to Hadgard. Ike quakes don't exist. At least I'm pretty sure this place isn't tectonically active. Okay, we're going to grab the Guob. That one will actually do something for us. So that's good. And we should be able to get a connection back to the KSC, even without a relay satellite in orbit here. We might want to put a relay satellite up eventually in the Duna system. I'm not exactly sure what our final mining infrastructure is going to look like. But we definitely need to get started on that whole mining operation. So we're going to climb up here. I suppose we could crash an asteroid that we've mined into Ike for seismic readings. That could be interesting. We are going to grab our ionographer. That's an actually important one as well. Everything that's remaining at this point is important. So we'll head over here. We need to drop off the ionographer, and we need to drop off the communications module. Okay. Ionographer can go there. And let's grab that comms module. Last thing to grab here. One comms module. And down plummets Hadgard. He has not managed to teleport around here yet. That's impressive for Hadgard, actually. This is an awkward place to put it for sure. We'll try... Yeah, not there. Here is fine. Okay, let's make sure that everything is functional. It absolutely should be. Let's look at the control station here. Total power needed 5, total power available 12. That's a lot of power. Let's see, we are connected. Comm signal 0.26, so that's not great, but it'll do. So Hadgard, let's head on back. At this point, we've got everything that we're going to get here. We can grab another surface sample, but I'm pretty sure we have everything already set up. So we're going to climb up the ladder. We're going to grab everything in the experiment containment module that we can. So let's swap over to here. Collect everything that we can. That is everything. Okay. And we'll board. Yep, we'll have to dump the experiment. That's what I expected. We can turn SAS on, and we are done here on Ike. At least for now. We got a lot of screen messages, that's for sure. That's a lot of science coming in from our other bases. We got all of that done as well, which is always great. I say we're ready to go. let's head on home. So we're going to get ourselves up into orbit here. We're going to go to around 45 degrees over this way on a 90-degree heading. I'm not actually sure what direction Ike rotates, but I'm sure this will be fine. We don't need this ladder to be extended or this ladder to be extended anymore. Okay. We can now lock to just prograde. We don't need our legs extended. Not that these things are actually hurting us in any way. We'll just make our way up to something like, I don't know, 50 kilometers? That's probably more than fine. At this point, I think our altitude is solid, and we'll just head over to the horizon here and just get horizontal speed. That's what we need more than anything right now. Okay. So yeah, about 23, 24 kilometers for our apoapsis here. We're going to be losing our side tanks fairly soon. We will be able to ditch those in orbit here, I think. Well, actually, those will probably be in orbit. I don't think they'll impact, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would have preferred that they impacted. Okay, this is 70 kilometers apoapsis. This is plenty. What would it look like if we did an escape here? That's interesting. Not quite what we're looking for. So I think we're just going to circularize here. And we're going to look for a little bit more efficient of a transfer. That'll be fine. So we'll position for that, and we will warp for this burn. We are able to warp, and that is fantastic. Hello, Ike. You are very lumpy. Very lumpy indeed. So we'll perform this burn in about a minute here. We'll physics warp a bit as we turn towards that, and then we will regular warp. Now that we're basically on node. And we'll burn this now. How wacky is our inclination? That's what I'm wondering right now. Pretty equatorial. I like it. Okay. So that should be pretty safe for returning. So if we wanted to burn, say, here, this would be... What direction would this end up looking like? Yeah, that's that way. So we'd want to pull that back retrograde, but we wouldn't want to burn this here. What if we burned it here? Yeah, that would be returning us back to Duna. So what about at this periapsis? We burn retrograde at the periapsis to increase our... All right, this is essentially fundamentally a gravity assist. Okay, so this would be... awkward. Very awkward indeed. I think we just go for an escape here. And then deal with it afterwards. So something kind of like that, but honestly, what if we were to burn it, say, here? What does that end up looking like out this way? Yeah, that increases the periapsis. So we'd really need to burn it over here, wouldn't we? Hypothetically. And gravity assist out from Duna like that. In theory. It's awkward. It's awkward. I think we'll call this good. This is about what we're going to get. So that's fine. It doesn't seem to matter too much what direction we do this from. I was hoping that we'd be able to find a decent transfer back to Kerbin, but I mean, with the lack of timing that I do, it's probably pretty unlikely, right? So we'll just go ahead and do this. I mean, 278.3 meters per second to escape Duna is not bad. That seems reasonably acceptable to me. It's probably not the most efficient, but it'll do. And we're going to get a nice flyby of Duna on the way. So that's always good too. We'll start this burn right about now. And for once, we're actually kind of burning the direction we're going to go. That's wild. Look at that. We're going to be going around this way. Exciting stuff. So off we go here. And our burn will be done in about 2 seconds. This is probably close enough. Yes, we'll call that good. And we're going to get in-space high over Duna here. This isn't in-space low. I mean, we could try to get in-space low science. Something kind of like this. But I really don't think that that's necessary. We don't need the science. So I'm not going to bother with it. We're just going to return home. I strongly believe that we have enough science to max out right now. Okay, so we're going to warp to about here. Goodbye, Duna. We may be back. We'll see. Hey, Mystery Goo observations from Ike. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to get into in space over the sun, and the question then becomes, what's our inclination like versus Kerbin? Yeah, 0.1 degrees. That's about what I expected, this being a Duna run. And this timing is what we should call non-great. That said, that looks like a reasonable encounter there. Semi-reasonable anyway. Let's see about tweaking this timing. Don't really care too much about the direction that we're coming in at, but we could tweak that, like so. Bring it a little bit more even. And what about changing this timing ever so slightly? Okay, now it doesn't want to move. It really doesn't like moving this direction. Okay. Yeah, this'll do. And then we can bring in the periapsis a bit. Oh, we can see that there's a pretty wild inclination issue there. But actually coming in polar isn't the worst. We could do something kind of like this. It's a bit low on the periapsis for my taste. I usually like to go for around 30 kilometers. Oh, hello. This is very sensitive. 30 kilometers would be about like that. Looks good to me. We'll align for this. This is going to be a very lengthy time to wait for this burn, because of course I didn't I didn't wait to or I didn't time this correctly, but that's fine. We can go ahead and warp this, and this is going to be a very long warp, so I will be right back as soon as this warp is over. See you in a bit. And that is complete. I remembered partway through that time warp to extend the solar panels. I'm not actually sure what our electric charge got to. It couldn't have been high. Luckily, I did remember, and we are going to warp a little bit towards this burn. We're going to have to hit this burn quite precisely at this point. So we're going to burn this basically exactly when the game wants us to, here in 8 seconds. So let's get ready for that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. Okay. And we are going to be ditching this stage, these side tanks here. Absolutely. So we'll get rid of those and save some thrust to weight. There we go. They are completely empty at this point, so we lose absolutely nothing from doing that. And we've got about another 40 seconds left in this burn. I'm just going to physics warp it a bit. 15 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This is very, very close here. But we ever so slightly overshot it. We need to fix it. This is going to impact. We don't want to impact Kerbin. There. That'll do the trick. So we're coming in basically over the Arctic, which is exciting stuff. Around here-ish, we're going to want to do our radial retrograde burn. We don't care about this periapsis. What we care about, of course, is this periapsis. So, good old-fashioned radial retrograde. We've got 729 meters per second here. Okay, so we're going to have to back off on this burn a little bit. And have it be something along the lines of this. That'll do. And that should get us some nice capture. Fantastic. We'll align for that. That burn's going to be in another 335 days. So we're going to go ahead and warp towards that. And of course, as usual, I'm not going to make you sit through that. So we will be right back as soon as this warp is over. And we are back. We are over Kerbin at this time. We can see the moon right there. We came in here very quickly indeed. And we're going to start this burn in about 45 seconds. So that'll be fine. We should stow our solar panels at this time. We're not going to need them for the rest of this flight. This flight is going to last for, like, minutes at this point. We are basically done with it. We're almost 4 years into this flight, which is hilarious. But that's fine. We don't have any contracts to worry about. Oh, we can grab some EVA reports. We'll do that. Not like it's super necessary. But we're going to have to start burning off this speed as soon as we can here. We are accelerating right now, and that's to be expected. Absolutely. So we can see our current periapsis and our goal periapsis here. We're going to start our burn right about now. Okay. And yeah, you can see we're going to burn out all of our fuel. That's to be expected. We absolutely need to start a braking maneuver here. That is incredibly important right now. And we are not going to bounce off of the atmosphere, hopefully. We're also, hopefully, not going to escape. And we're definitely not going to escape. So we're definitely coming in for a landing here. The question is, how fast, how hot, and how many aero brake passes is this going to take? That's the question. So we're going to get this tank burned out here. We have decelerated pretty dramatically, and that's wonderful. We're coming in at a somewhat awkward angle, but we've got plenty of space still between us and the Atmo. And we're just going to burn out this entire tank on this maneuver. It's going to be gone now, and we're going to point normal and stage. And now we're going to point retrograde. Surface. Retrograde. There we go. Now we are accelerating currently. Grab this EVA report. There we go. And we're going to continue accelerating until we hit the atmosphere here. But we're not going super duper fast here. And we are in Atmo. So we're going to lock to retrograde here. And I mean, we're going to keep accelerating, for sure. But we are going to continue to drop down to 30 kilometers. You can see that currently time to periapsis is decreasing. And time to apoapsis is decreasing a lot. So we're definitely getting some braking happening here. I suppose we could grab this atmosphere analysis. Not like it's mega important. And collect everything that we can in the experiment storage unit. Cool. And we're starting to decelerate now. We're 50 kilometers above the surface and decelerating. "45 kilometers above the surface. And we're starting to decelerate fairly quickly. We are seeing some heating effects here. We might lose some things in our service bay. Like, this might be a slightly awkward re-entry. We're okay with that. As long as we get the experiment storage unit and our Kerbals back home safely, that's all that really matters here. This is the re-entry module? That's spicy. But the apoapsis is dropping, and our speed is dropping very quickly here. We're down to 2.5 kilometers per second. You can see we burned off quite a lot of ablative heat shield here. But things appear to be going pretty well at this point. We're definitely not going to be exiting the atmosphere. And heat appears to be under control now. So this is all good. Fantastic. I was a little concerned for a bit there, but this is looking very, very good. 2 kilometers per second. 1.8. 1.7. 1.6. Yep, we are absolutely fine here. No problems whatsoever. 1.4. Fantastic. I'm going to open up our service bay here, grab an atmospheric analysis over the mountains, and we'll collect that. Not like it's important. I do believe that we have all of the data that we are going to have. Are we going to exit the mountain biome? That's a question that we should be asking, because if not, we should just grab this and call that good. Although flying low, we can grab a temperature scan, and we should now open this again and redo the atmospheric analysis. So we're going to run this, overwriting it. We'll keep that, and we'll collect all of that data. And we'll grab that. We're going to launch our drogue chutes out, or drop our drogue chutes, rather. Not really drop. That's not the right word. We're going to use our main as well here. Collecting any data that we can. And we'll physics warp down a bit. We should probably reclose the service bay. And drogues will be deploying now. Kaboom. And main will be deploying now. Cool. We're going to have Hatguard EVA. We lost that because we're over Highlands now. Right. That would do the trick. We'll just physics warp down to the ground. We don't need this data anyway. I really, truly believe we have all of the scientific data we need to max out our science. So that'll be good. Honestly, even if we don't, the science that we're getting back from those various moons should be more than enough. So we'll just land here. Our heat shield kind of blew up a bit because of the impact, but I'm sure it's fine. So we will recover that vessel. And how much science do we get? Remember we needed like, what? 4,000? 4,100 total, I think? How much do we get? Any moment now. 3,211. We have enough. Okay, so we are going to grab everything left in the tree. That is all remaining science. And from here, we should absolutely upgrade our administration building. And we're going to upgrade it to max level. There we go. And we should now do, I think, research rights sellout. Or outsourced R&D? No. Takes reputation gains, yields a science. I want to take science and yield funds. That's this one. Okay. And we commit to this at 75% strength, or whatever the maximum is. 39%? Oh, we don't have enough science to set it up further. Okay, we'll call that good. Yes, we don't need science anymore. So we're going to get funds for each unit of science. Perfect. That is absolutely fine. I did not necessarily mean to go into the tracker, but we are basically done with this episode, and at this point we are going to start our proper asteroid mining. I probably should have done that earlier, but here we are. That is going to be a next episode sort of thing, though, so you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, I don't have the list here, Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Spartan News, Rose Valentine, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.